Hi, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us so far. We're going to give everybody a few more minutes to trickle in here. So just be patient with us here and we'll get started here shortly. Hi to those just joining us. Just give us a few more minutes here. I think we'll try to get started about 7:05. We have some more people trickling in here, but we will get started here about 7:05. Thanks. All right. Hello, everyone. I'll give everyone a second to adjust their volume. I know I can speak a little bit loud sometimes, but welcome in. Welcome in. My name is Alex Miller, and I am leading the public outreach efforts on the Kansas City Water Upgrades on Main Street project. I do appreciate everyone's patience tonight. I appreciate everyone logging in tonight. Typically when we do public meetings for large projects like this, we would have picked a location somewhere along the Main Street corridor. We would have had sign-in sheets, big, beautiful boards, sticky notes, chocolate chip cookies, all those good things. In the times of COVID, obviously, we had to kind of adjust on the fly. And so that is why today, we're having 3 virtual public meetings this week. If you have any neighbors, friends, colleagues who didn't have a chance to join tonight, we do have another one tomorrow starting at 4:30 p.m. and one on Saturday morning as well. So please feel free to sign up for either of those, encourage your friends or neighbors. But we do appreciate everyone logging on tonight and joining us this evening. I do want to go ahead and get started and talk through a little bit about how the presentation is going to flow tonight and lay out some ground rules. I do want to start off by saying that this presentation, it is recording. It is currently broadcasting to YouTube Live. So I just wanted to make everyone aware that anything that you say tonight out loud or anything like that, it is being broadcast live right now, and this is being recorded, just so you're all aware that it is being recorded. So we'll go through some introductions this evening. Then we'll go ahead and talk about the project area. We'll talk about the water main replacement, the sewer rehab work as well. And then we'll talk a little bit about private utility work happening on the corridor. You've probably noticed that work already started. And then how kind of all of this relates to the Kansas City Streetcar Extension project. We'll also go over our project schedule and then how you, members of the public, can stay informed throughout the duration of this project. I will say, so at the end, we will open it up to Q&A. So you'll notice at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you will see a chat. If you click on that chat, and if you have a question anytime during this presentation, please type that question into the chat box, and then we will answer all the questions in the chat box at the end of the presentation. So if one of our engineers is presenting and it triggers a question for you, please feel free to type that question out. That would be great. Put it in the chat box, and then again at the end of the presentation, we will answer those questions in the order we receive them in the chat box. Out loud, so that way everyone has the answer. And then if you're not comfortable typing in the chat box, we will allow you the opportunity to unmute yourself at the end of the presentation and ask a question. How we ask you do that is this. If you click on the participation icon in your chat, in your Zoom box, you'll see a lot of different functions. One of those functions is to raise your hand. Again, we'll remind you that at the end of the presentation, how to do that in case you weren't familiar, but those are just kind of the ground rules tonight. We are taking questions. We'd love to answer your questions, but we are going to do them at the end of the presentation. So tonight, I did want to go ahead and introduce the project, the presenters, the folks that are presenting tonight. This is not just the project team. We have a lot of dedicated folks working on this project. So these are just the presenters. If we had to put a face for every single person working on the project, it would take up the whole presentation. So tonight joining me is Jeff Martin from Kansas City Water. He's the Chief Engineering Officer. We also have Jerry Stevens on the line. He is the Kansas City Water Project Manager for specifically this project, the Upgrades on Main. We also have Melanie Jolette, KC Water Distribution Division Head. We also have Kwa Nguyen. He is also at Kansas City Water, and he is a Sewer Systems Engineer. Again, my name's Alex Miller. I'll be leading public outreach on this project. And joining me tonight is my colleague, Taylor Rippey, as well on public outreach. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put myself on mute and hand it over to Jerry Stevens.
Okay, welcome everyone. And we're excited about this project. I wanted to go over just some of the boundaries of where the project is at and it's going to be at. And then I'll give us some more details about the project here in just a little bit. But the project boundaries are on the north end. This is all on Main Street, by the way. The north end is Pershing Road, and the south end is 51st and Brookside. And so that is where we'll be working and putting in all these improvements. So the work is along Main Street from Pershing to Emmanuel Cleaver, the second boulevard, and then shifts to Brookside Boulevard from Emmanuel Cleaver to 51st Street. Next. I'll be talking about the water main replacement part of this project. We're going to be replacing over 21,000 linear feet of water mains, which is over 4 miles of water main. And we have sizes ranging from 6-inch all the way up to 42-inch that we'll be replacing. So this is a very large project, and it's going to be exciting to go through and replace all this water main that is quite old in many respects. Next. The water main replacement, this is some of the things that are included along with the water main replacement. All service lines will be replaced to the right of way at least. You'll get a new service line, and depending on the size, we will be replacing those up to the right of way line. There'll be some additional survey work that is to locate all the old trolley tracks that were in there. When they abandoned that old trolley, they did not take the tracks out. So that was one of the things that we'll be working around and through and finding all the old trolley tracks. We're going to be installing new valves and new hydrants all along the corridor. That gives us the ability to upgrade all of our facilities and the water facilities so that we have current and operating valves and hydrants. Believe it or not, there is new technology, upgraded technology in water main. We are going to be putting in the top of the line water mains that are ductile iron instead of the old cast iron. They are zinc coated, and they will be poly wrapped. So these water mains are going to last for many, many years, and we believe that they will be lasting 100 or 150 years. So most of us probably will not be around to see how that works. But we'll also be relocating meters outside where possible. That gives us the ability to work on the meters without having to go into the facility, residence, or buildings, and gives us the opportunity to, in case of a leak or something like that, to quickly turn that off so the water's not flowing inside. So those are some of the things that we'll be doing to upgrading our water system. Next. Now I'll turn it over to Kwa, who is going to tell about the sewer rehabilitation part. And he is the expert on sewer rehabilitation and has a lot of experience in doing this. Kwa?
All right, thank you, Jerry. And hello, everyone. My name is Quang Nguyen, and I will be going over the sewer portion of this project. So just to give you a quick overview, we have identified approximately 24,000 linear feet of sewer pipe that ranges from 8 to 84-inch in diameters, which we will be rehabilitating. And in addition, we will also be relocating an additional 4,200 linear feet of pipe away from the streetcar track so that we can continue to maintain our sewer system if needed without having to interrupt the streetcar operation. So as we go along the streetcar corridor, we will also rehabilitate existing manholes, replacing storm drains, and rehabilitating surface laterals all the way to the right of way. Now, one thing to note is that during pipe installation, you may experience service disruption. So during that time, we ask that you limit the use of water to prevent unnecessary sewer backup. That being said, the contractor will notify you in advance prior to pipe installation at your properties. On the next slide, I will be going over a couple of rehabilitation methods performed by the contractor to give you an idea of what each different type of rehabilitation is like. So if you can go next to the next slide, Alex. All right. So first up on the list, we have cure in place lining, which is a flexible materials that get inverted from one manhole to the other, and then pressurized steam is being used to blow up the material while curing it at the same time. So when done, it will be a new pipe within the existing pipe. And then we also have open cut excavation, which is required for us in order to relocate existing sewer mains away from the streetcar track. Now, the next three is optional, but the contractor can choose if they need it. And this one is SPR, or spiral wounded pipe, which is another form of trenchless rehabilitation method. It is basically a flexible material with locking mechanism, and it is being winded by a machine in circular motion. So as the machine spins, it locks the PVC material together to form a new pipe. Pipe reaming or pipe burst uses a cylindrical hammer that attaches to the new PVC pipe. And as the hammers get pulled from one end of the pipe to the other, it breaks the old pipe while leaving the new pipe behind. So you get a completely new pipe in place of the old pipe. So slip lining is an older form of trenchless rehabilitation method, which uses section of pipe in smaller length, and it's being joined together in order to make a complete sewer segment. And with that, I will pass it over to Jerry to go over the schedules.
Okay, thanks, Kwa. That was very, very good. I'd like to spend some time on going over the schedule so that you kind of can get prepared of what's going to be going on there. You may have seen already some utilities that are working in the corridor, and they are relocating and replenishing their utilities to accommodate some of the other construction that's going to be going on. So that construction for the water main and sewer will be beginning in late October. We have our contractor chosen, and we're in the process now of getting the contracts ready for him to start out, and he can start his process as well. So obviously there's a lot of utilities in the corridor and a lot of coordination that needs to be done by all the different things that are going to be taking place there. This whole project will take about 2 years to finish, and it'll be in segments. There will be water main replacement and sewer rehabilitation that will begin at Pershing and progress to the south. And this will likely occur on multiple blocks at one time. They'll have multiple crews working at one time. But the requirement is to have one lane of traffic open in both directions at all times, so that the traffic can still get through. We are looking forward to this project. It's going to be a lot of coordination, and so we have our contractor is very experienced in this, and he's going to be putting in the sewer rehabilitation and the water mains going forward. Next. Okay, let's, why is this project important? First of all, we're going to be replacing aging infrastructure, and KC Water has the situation where we have decided to replace all of our water distribution system um, at about 1% a year. And we have over 2,800 miles of distribution water mains. And so it's going to take a long time to do all that. This project is one portion of that. And we, with all the other things that are be going on, this was a good time to do that. Also, another reason why we're doing this is to increase the service reliability. I mentioned we're putting all new pipes in the ground, new valves, new hydrants, new service lines. So to increase reliability and that eliminate as many breaks as possible. And then this project will also pave the way for the streetcar extension, which you may have heard of. And so part of that is to get all of our utilities relocated and refurbished and out of the way so that the streetcar, when they start building the new streetcar extension, that'll all be taken care of and won't have to worry about utilities that might have problems in the future. Next.
Great, thanks, Jerry. This is Alex Miller again. And I am going to take a minute here to talk a little bit about private utility work. So when we say private utility work, we're talking about the Google Fibers of the world, the AT&Ts, the Spire Gas. So again, this picture here on the right was just taken a few weeks ago on Main Street. So if you've driven down Main Street recently, you've probably seen work like this. So we have 15 private different utility companies working in the corridor. And as Jerry mentioned earlier, they'll be in different locations at different times, and they're doing very similar work to water, minus all the pipes. They are going to be relocating their own equipment and moving it out of the way for the streetcar tracks. So what's important to note here, and this is pretty critical, as excited as I am about the streetcar project, as excited as you might be about the streetcar project, about getting new water infrastructure, as great as all that stuff is, it's not as simple as coming in and laying streetcar tracks on Main Street, right? There's a lot of work going on. We have a ton of work going on, not just with Kansas City Water over the next 2 years, but we are projecting right now that private utility work will outlast the KC water work on Main Street, which is anticipated again to take about 2 years. We'll talk about streetcar here in a second, but I do want to just say that there is a lot of work going on, and a lot of this work is obviously underground. So there might be weeks at a time, and this work is going to happen in waves. So for example, 1 week you might have Google Fiber out in front of your storefront, and they might be there for a few weeks moving their equipment. Then they might button it up and no one will be there for a few more weeks. And then 2 weeks, and then the next week you might have a different private utility, and then they'll button up, and then KC Water will come through. So this will be a long process. And so that's part of the job that myself and Taylor, my colleague as well, this is really what we're here to do, is help communicate all this work that's going on around the corridor and do our best to really communicate what water's doing and then help you all out with when private utilities are moving up and down the corridor. So just thank you in advance for your patience. And I do want to talk a little bit this evening about all the ways that you can stay informed for this project. Oh, sorry, I always forget this slide. The most important slide almost is the Kansas City Streetcar Extension project. You might have seen in the news, the Kansas City Streetcar Extension project recently received $50 million from the FTA. Right now, design is at about 60% complete. The anticipated completion for that project is 2025. If you haven't had a chance yet, I highly recommend going to the KC Streetcar website. So go to kcstreetcar.org. On the homepage there, you will see a Main Street Extension tab. Go ahead and click on that, and that will provide you all the design documents that they have submitted to the FTA to date, or most of them. And then as well as a pretty cool little simulation video of what the streetcar looks like running down Main Street. And I did want to mention, we do have a member from the Kansas City Streetcar Authority on the call this evening. So if you do have any questions at the end specifically related to streetcar, we have the expert here to help answer those questions. So how can you stay informed? I know that this is a ton of work. There's a lot going on. It's a long project. So here are some of the tools that we'll be using to help keep you engaged and informed throughout this process. So first and foremost, we have our hotline phone. So this number is live right now. It's active right now. It's either sitting on my desk or my colleague Taylor's. So this phone sits on our desk. We monitor it between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. So if you have any construction related question or concern, if you aren't sure what's going on out front of your storefront, outside of your business, if you're driving into work and you're confused with some sort of detour, give us a call on the hotline phone. That's what we're here for. It's to help mitigate this long construction process and any issues that might arise. Please, for your own safety, for our crew's safety, for the private utility contractor safety, don't approach the construction workers who are out working on the site. Please don't walk into an active construction zone if you have a question, because chances are, right, we have so many people, so many different contractors working in this corridor that they're just there to do their one job and they might not know what's going on 2 blocks down. But we will, if we don't know those answers, we will at least know the right people to go get those answers for you. So if you have any questions like that, please just give us a call. Or you can email us as well at water.upgradesonmain@kcmo.org. We are also monitoring that 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. We also have our project webpage where you can sign up for our weekly construction update. Taylor's going to talk about that here in a minute. But here on the right is an example of kind of what that weekly construction update will look like. Once Kansas City water work starts, again projected late October, once our work starts, we will be pushing out that weekly construction update every Friday at noon with the next week's work and what's to come. We'll also be breaking that weekly construction update down into segments. And again, Taylor will kind of get into what those segments are and what they look like. The other way to stay engaged is social media. You can follow Kansas City Water on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those good places, YouTube at KCMO Water. And I do want to offer this. We are more than happy to come out and present at your neighborhood meeting, monthly luncheon, business quarterly meeting, whatever it might be. Even if you just want us to come out and sit at the meeting and answer questions the last 5 or 10 minutes, or to provide a brief update of what work's happening and what's to come, we are more than happy to come out to those meetings and do that, even if it's virtually like this. So again, reach out to us, give us a call, shoot us an email. We're more than happy to come out and present at those meetings. With that being said, I'll go ahead and hand it over to my colleague Taylor Rippey here and have her walk through the webpage a little bit and how you can use it.
Hi, everyone. So we're really excited about this project webpage. So we wanted to make sure everyone felt comfortable. So it's going to be a really valuable tool to be using throughout the life of this project. And it will host all the most up-to-date information, the same information you'd be getting in those weekly construction updates. So the first thing you'll see when you get to the project webpage, which again is kcwater.us/upgrades-on-main. The first thing you'll see is that box where you can sign up for the weekly construction update. So once you put your email, first name, last name, you're automatically signed up and we'll start getting those emails. And then if you scroll down, you'll see the project map. We're super excited about this map and I'm going to dig a little bit more into that. But first, past the map, if you keep scrolling, there's going to be a section called Project Fast Facts. So this is going to have general information, just give you a general overview about the project. What it's happening, where is it happening. So this is going to be helpful if a coworker, family, or friend asks you some questions about this project and they weren't on this meeting. You can direct them to the project webpage and those project fast facts. So if we go to the next slide, I wanted to show you a few of the features that you can use in the project webpage. So first, to go back to the segments Alex was talking about, there's 5 segments that this map is broken up into, and the segments don't mean a whole lot other than to try to keep it organized, all the construction updates. So for example, if you work at the Federal Reserve, you may be most interested in the segment that's Pershing Road to 31st Street. So if you want to learn more about what's going on in that segment, you can either click on the segment directly on the map, or on the left-hand side, you can see on that left picture, there's kind of a list of all of the segments. So if you click on that, it will come up with anything happening in that segment. So right now, of course, you don't see anything because no construction has started. But when construction does start, you may see that there's a pedestrian detour somewhere in that segment. There's a lane closure. There might be just active construction in general. all of that would be listed there. And that's going to be the same thing you'll be seeing in your weekly construction update. And that will be organized in the segments the same way. So if you want to see, like, for example, if there is a pedestrian detour and you want to see exactly where it is, you can zoom in on the map using it's similar to Google Maps or Apple Maps. If you've ever used either of those, you can zoom in using the plus or minus signs in the top right corner, or you can just zoom in using your fingers. If you're on a smartphone, zoom in and you can see exactly the intersection where that pedestrian detour is, for example. So then if we go to the next slide, there's another cool feature about this map is you can actually have it translated to any language that Google Translate offers. So if you can see in that top right corner, it's kind of highlighted in green, there's a little book with the letter A on it. If you click that, it will pull up a little drop-down box. You hit the drop-down box and it'll pull up that menu of all those different languages. And then you can see in that right-hand picture, I selected Spanish. So everything's being translated into Spanish. So as we populate that map and more information is put in there, that will also be translated to whatever language you need. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Alex, and he's going to lead us in some question and answers.
All right. Thank you, Taylor. I appreciate it. I am going to log in here to the chat box and see if we have any questions. Okay, it looks like we have a question here. Jerry, will the manhole covers be level with the street surface when the project is completed?
Yes, that'll be all level, and I know the sewer manhole will be level. The valve boxes that we have, all the things that are out in the street will be at the street level, and even with the street.
Right. Any other questions, anyone? That was our only one. Again, if you'd like to raise your hand, you can do that if you click on the participant tab and then the raise hand feature. I've got another question here. Either Jerry or Kwa or Jeff, again, feel free to jump in. Are you replacing water distribution and sewer pipe? Will the sewer be combined?
I know that the sewer is within the combined area.
And can I add Karina Papikan, KC Water? Yes, we are replacing partially. We rehabilitating about 60% of the pipe, and we're also replacing the pipe, sewer pipe. And yes, this is a combined area, and it will stay combined.
Thank you. Any other questions from anyone? Will water service be interrupted? I was wondering if water would be shut off.
The way we do that, this is Jerry. The way we do that is that we install the new water main, and one of the processes is to flush it out and to chlorinate it so that there's no bacteria. We take bacteria tests before we ever put it in service. And then when it's all ready to be put in service and it goes in service, then we will go through and replace and reconnect the services to the new main. And we will notify the residents, the businesses along there, when we're going to be doing that. And that is going to be one of probably, normally it's one of the last things that we do, but we'll see if we can put part of these new water mains in service as we go along. And then put the new service lines in service as well. But we will notify the property owners well in advance of what we're going to be doing to transfer those over to the new main.
Great. Looks like,
I guess as far as the water being shut off, it would only be shut off during the time that we actually do the transfer from the old main to the new main. So minimal amount of time of having it shut off.
all right. Any other questions? I'm looking for hands raised. Great.
Yes, this is Quang Nguyen. The life expectancy for the sewer rehab, CIPP, and other technology is anywhere from 50 or over. So it will last us a very long time.
Will this increase sewer capacity at all?
In a way, it will, due to the friction of the PVC materials. So the clay and the brick pipe have pretty bad friction, which slows down the water flow. But with PVC pipe, it can flow faster, so thus it will increase the capacity.
All right. I will like to add here that if you think of a question later tonight or something like that, again, feel free to reach out to us either via the hotline or the project email. If you have any other questions, just let us know. If we didn't answer anything tonight, again, my name is Alex Miller, and my colleague Taylor Rippey. We will be your first point of contact with issues you might have with Kansas City Water Work. So just, again, let us know. Here's how you can reach us directly. And thank you all for your time tonight. We do appreciate you all sticking with us as we went through some technology there. My dog started barking at one point, so we are in it. So thank you, everyone, again, for tonight. Again, any questions, please let us know. But thank you all for your time.